Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of the Wonder Appreciated podcast, where we find the wonder in things that are underappreciated. Is that an accurate way of describing it?
That's that you described the pun. Yeah, that's right.
Are
yeah,
you?
of course.
Is that bad that I described the pun? Oh, I shouldn't think the audience is stupid enough to not get it. Maybe I'm already talking down to them. Is what you're saying?
No, you're good.
I'm talking down to the listener right now. In case you didn't know, wonder appreciated.
No, it's fine. You don't. It's fine to explain it the first time.
Aubrey's holding a knife to my throat right now. For anyone who's listening only.
It's fine to tell them, Joe. Just don't do it again.
She has a lollipop in one hand and a knife in the other.
Oh my god, I'm really that chick.
Manic pixie dream girl.
I'm really that chick.
Aubrey got a new haircut, so she's acting different now.
In case you guys don't know, I did get my hair cut off, and I am now a manic pixie dream girl.
Haircut off? Why'd you decide that? Why don't you say I got a haircut? Why is it be cut off?
As it sounds more dramatic.
That sounds like Medusa's snakes. Like you got them cut, like removed. I got some parts of my hair removed. That's how you describe my haircut?
I got my hair removed?
I got parts of my hair removed. Just the parts that didn't look as good. I got those removed, and then I kept the rest.
I got a lot of length removed from my hair.
Yeah.
I like that. But I've been acting different, I know.
Yeah. Well, confidence.
I don't know if you've had long hair, but you haven't had hair as long as me. And when you get that cut off, I'm like a bird, I only fly away.
That's what it feels like?
That's what it feels like.
Wow.
You feel lighter, you feel brighter, and you feel fresh.
I feel like that's something, we can immediately jump into it, but that's something that's very wonder appreciated, is getting a fresh cut. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Have you ever had a haircut, besides this one, I guess, that you've ever felt like, damn, I'm doing something different? Like,
I think
fully changes your whole perception on life.
Yes.
So is it just this one, or?
Well, it's because I continuously do the same cycle. So I grow my hair out really, really, really long until it gets knotty and tangly and gross. And then I chop it off and I feel like a whole new chick.
Mm-hmm.
And so I never get consistent haircuts because then the novelty wears off, you know? You got to get that really big dramatic haircut. And then everybody messages you about it.
Oh,
They're
that's
like, whoa,
underrated.
what does it feel like?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
The underrated part of it is the dramatic change between hairstyles. Mm-hmm. So, like, getting it trimmed, like, I always feel like getting it trimmed is just a chore. Like, oh, I'm gonna get my hair, like, I'm going to, like, my parents' house for Easter. Like, I gotta get my hair trimmed. By the way, I don't go to my parents' house for Easter, specifically. I feel like that was a weird holiday choice. I'm just saying that was a weird holiday choice.
I think that's the one holiday that you don't go home for.
It's the only one does anyone, like, I gotta fly to New York for Easter?
I'm sure there are.
There are quite a few people.
Yeah. Easter truly used to be a hullabaloo, wasn't it?
What do you mean? Like when I was like in 2003, or are you saying like when we were younger? Like just anybody being younger?
Both of those.
I'm saying
because we were younger in 2003.
I know, but are you saying it used to be great from the perspective of a child, or times have changed now Easter isn't great?
I can't comment on the current state of Easter.
Why not?
Because I haven't celebrated it in a really long time.
Really?
Yeah.
What a shame.
But I can say, when I was a kid, there was the one egg that had the $20 in it. And that was a big deal.
Okay, so finding $20 as an adult also feels good.
Right.
But much better considering your net worth was much lower at that time.
It was unlimited candy, and there was one egg that had $20 in it. That was the glittery gold egg. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we would even have neighborhood egg hunts. There was one neighborhood egg hunt that I went to. It was like not really my neighborhood, but I was like, this is the rich neighborhood. And they'd had $100 egg.
Really?
$100 egg.
I feel like a lot of people think they're getting away with something by going to the rich neighborhoods for like Halloween and Easter. Like, well, I didn't know you could do an Easter, like find a rich neighborhood to do, like impede on someone's like family picnic. I've never heard that, but for Halloween specifically, we actually, and they whisper every time I say it, we actually go to the rich neighborhoods and we go get
Oh, you're saying the specific way in which you tell someone that you're going to the rich neighborhood?
Every single person I've ever heard talk about this, especially Halloween candy, is like, we actually go to and they start whispering instantly. We actually go to the rich neighborhoods. Yeah. and they got the big bars. I'm like, dude, they're not behind me. You can say that, and also they know that. That's why they do it.
Right. Yeah. When you go there, it's freaking packed.
Yeah. Of course. Absolutely.
Yeah.
About haircuts, going a little bit further back.
Yeah.
I currently have a Jedi braid, which is hilarious to the people that are only listening and can't, and me thinking that I'm just messing with them, which is a great thought.
I do like that.
But I do have a Jedi braid right now because I've had long hair, and I either go long hair or buzz. That's it. I feel like I'm a long hair dude, but if I am gonna buzz it, it just becomes a Monchichi instantly. Like if I don't.
In case you viewers don't know what a Monchichi is,
Google it.
Yeah. That's what Joe looks like when he cuts his hair short.
Because it all grows so fast, like a chia pet, at the same length, at the same time. It's just like, it's goofy.
You
silly.
Get width.
I do get width. I go outward. I don't go up. I go out.
I keep calling them viewers, and that's literally
Listeners.
the only thing they aren't.
Well, they could be watching right now.
Sure, yeah. Tell them what your barber said when you told him you wanted a Jedi braid.
Oh, yeah. I said, I want a Jedi braid. And he looked me dead in the eyes and he said, what's that? And I know, listen, you can be negligent for a lot of things. Not knowing what a Jedi is insanity.
Hold on. He didn't say he didn't know what a Jedi was. He said he didn't know what a Jedi braid was. You
didn't notice the one thing that was interesting about them for like 3 episodes? The one thing?
I do think maybe that was his segue into, can you show me a photo? Because I'm not going to do this blind off of my memory from watching these episodes.
So you think he just was like, he just says that to everything? Because he's like, I don't want to go off of just memory. Show me a photo.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, give me a mullet. And he just goes, what's that? And you have to show him like Billy Ray Cyrus. You have to.
You give me just like 2 inches off. What's that?
What's that? Can you remove some of my hair? What's that? He loves it.
I think it would be a fun experiment to see what a barber says when you say, "Can you remove my hair?"
Can you remove it? Like in my head, I think of like a Lego piece, like just taking off the head part. Yeah, just with the head and then.
Yeah. That's cute. That would be easier if we could do that.
Sure would, Aubrey. Wouldn't life be easier if we were just Legos? If we were just Legos.
You know that thing. If we were Legos.
If we were Legos, I'd love this. What if we were just Legos?
If we were Legos, we could just change our pants, change our hair. So easy. Do. I thought that a lot when I was a kid and I was watching Jimmy Neutron. You know, in the intro, he has like that thing that spins around his head and it changes his hair.
Yeah, automatic hair changing.
That was like my dream.
That was your dream?
That was my dream. Well, because my mom would do my hair when I was a kid and I would scream every time.
Why were you screaming when your mom did your hair?
Because it was never how I wanted it.
What did you want?
I wanted my bow to look like Blossom from Powerpuff Girls, and her bow is like a foot off of her head.
That has nothing to do with your hair. That is all to do with the size of the bow on your head.
Yeah.
No wonder. There's your problem. You didn't have a big enough bow, so nothing would have looked good.
My sweet, sweet mother tied a ribbon in my hair, and I screamed.
You just grabbed her arm as she was like trying to put it on your head.
Honestly, it's one of those things in life that you think back on and you're really embarrassed by. Because,
oh, God, yeah.
You know, when you were a kid and you just like did something really like, because you didn't know social cues and stuff yet. So it's something that I'm still apologetic to my mom about. Like, I'm sorry about the floppy bow incident.
I have a few of those. I don't remember specifically what they were, but I know it had something to do with like something I said in front of my brother's friends, like trying to be cool, like just lying. Overtly.
You told me something that you regret is when you cried when your grandparents got you a sweater.
Oh God, that was like, wow, that might have been the lowest point of my life. I can't believe.
Hey, that's good. The lowest point of your life was when you were like 4?
Well, like comparative to what my emotions were, like now my lows are just normal. When my grandparents got me like an Old Navy sweater when I had just opened up an N64 Hot Wheels game is like going into the dance break and just farting. in my opinion. Like in looking back.
Wait. I'm not just gonna let you make that analogy.
Like everybody put your hands up, and then just ending the song. Get your fucking hands up. And just ending.
It's like a bum bum bum.
Yeah. Leave the stage. And some guy at like Lollapalooza, he's like, everybody, you know what to do. Put your hands up, hold someone's hand. It's all about peace and love out here in Lollapalooza. Let's go, lose it! Turns around, runs into the back.
Is it really all about peace and love at Lollapalooza?
Lollapalooza, by the way, is like a music festival, just like Coachella, like the million of other ones there are. Is it really about peace and love? Probably not. It's just about money.
That's true. You know when you said it's like farting at the dance break?
I don't remember when I said that. No. What if I just absolutely denied any, like just gaslight you the entire time?
That was stupid. Never mind.
Please do. Now it's more important.
There was two ways that could have gone. It's just either you explained one of the ways.
Okay, now what's the other?
The other way is the dance break is coming and you're on the dance floor.
And you're farting? Everybody lose it.
Farting to the beat. Did you ever fart at a school dance?
I think it's impossible not to fart at a school dance. I'll tell you why. Everything's romanticized around dancing when you're a teenager, in my opinion. It's like prom and like all the high school movies are just geared towards middle school kids because they just want to be high schoolers. So everything was partying and dancing and like house parties that didn't exist. And I feel like I'm so nervous. Every boy is so nervous. Just know when you see like a picture of people at like the homecoming dance or anything like that. Not homecoming, but whatever, middle school dance or whatever. Just know at least 3 rocket-propelled farts came out of their bodies.
During the picture?
I mean, if it was like 150 people in one photo, I would say 14% at any given moment are farting. That's how nervous boys are.
That might be true in general.
Just like because they're just downing Monster Energies and then going into this place and they ate like Skittles for lunch and then just go in there and they're nervous. You're just asking for a tummy eruption.
Just having like pack of hide shoes and a peace tea right before.
I can't believe those are not outlawed yet.
Peace teas?
Yeah. Are they underappreciated?
Okay, here's the thing about peace tea. If you guys don't know. There's those.
It's all about peace, man.
Here's the thing about peace tea, dude.
Can I please sidebar this for just 1 second and say there's nothing funnier to me and Aubrey at this point than making the joke about I can't tell if this is like meta humor or it's like I can't tell where it is right now in my head, but like making fun of people making fun of hippies in the early 2000s or like the 80s. Like, wow, man, peace and love. Like, it's something so funny about how ridiculous. And it's crazy. Aubrey brought up a good point when we were talking about this. She was like, why did they get, what's the reason? I mean, it's going to be dark, so maybe I shouldn't go here. But, like, why in the world I like being peaceful. Like, why is that a problem? And why is that funny? Like, if anyone walked up to me and was like, peace and love, man, I'm not going to be like, dork, and shove them in a locker. I'm going to be like, yeah, man, for sure.
I'm sure there's a lot of cultural reasons why, and I think there are specific reasons in the 70s and 80s why it became faux pas. It could have been a combination of a dream that died, of a utopian future that we never got. Because the hippies were kind of like, they thought that they would bring on a new age of,
the age of Aquarius.
Yeah, and
it didn't happen, is what you're telling me?
It didn't happen.
What do you mean?
Other than the actual like cultural or socioeconomic reasons that ended up being, lame or whatever. It's also kind of just the trend cycle, I think. Back then we were on kind of like a 10-year trend cycle. By the time, 1975 rolled around, it was like, all right, we're over it. The hippies aren't cool anymore. Now it's cool to be business guy.
I can't believe that's the sentiment though. Like,
something else interesting is a lot of hippies became disenchanted with the idea of being a hippie because they didn't see that future that they wanted and they were pushing for. So they actually became yuppies and became businessmen and started making fun of hippies.
The tables have turned. So
Yeah.
it's kind of making fun of yourself from the past. Like, wasn't I so dumb being like, peace and love, man? You know what makes more sense now? Get out of my way. I'm driving here. That's the new cool. Like, the new cool is like crammed in an elevator with briefcases. That's the new cool?
Yeah. And then the 90s was like, now that's lame. Now it's lame to be business guy with a briefcase in an elevator.
In the 2000s, it's back. I don't think it's back.
Was it back?
No. But what if it's cool now? What if I'm...
It was cool again.
What if I just start talking like this?
Oh,
like,
wait, are you talking about being a hippie? I thought you were talking about being a businessman, because remember that was cool again in the early 2010s. Everyone was just wearing blazers.
Every single girl wore blazers with a gold necklace that had...
Like, and a top knot bun.
And it was a feather. It was like a golden feather.
Or an owl.
It was...
Or like one of those big bauble bar, like thick necklaces.
Yeah.
And then a top bun and a blazer, because it was girl boss time.
It was girl boss time. I feel like men didn't exist during that time. I feel like it was only girl bosses that were like replicating.
Girl bosses were just like doing meiosis.
Actually, there was men at that time, but they couldn't speak English. They had to only go, hey, ho. That was like the only language we could speak.
Is hey ho not English?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
What language is it?
I mean, it's like hipstorian. Hipstonian.
Hipstonian.
Wow. Look at me. Hey.
Oh.
Dusty boots. The dusty boots are saying that, by the way. Every time they step on the floor, the dust comes up and makes like hey or ho in like the dust letters.
Like how in Lion King you can see like it says sex in the air.
No,
you know?
not at all what I'm talking about.
That is what you're talking about.
No, it's not.
But it is.
Okay. That's like
That's what you're talking about.
Oh my god. Yeah, I guess kind of, sure.
I was fluent in Hipstonian.
You were?
Actually, you know what? No.
What was some of the stuff you used to say?
Ugh.
Ugh.
No. I was definitely more like this.
They can't see that. Aubrey just brushed her hair. and just bowed her head, kind of put her head into her neck.
Yeah, I put my head into my neck and put my hair behind my ear and looked up. Like my good friend calls it looking into the great wide somewhere. And I used to do that, like where I'm staring off into space, but I'm totally aware of everybody, like because I want people to look at me.
Mm-hmm.
But I am like pretending like I'm not looking at anybody.
Can we be as honest as possible? Can we just be the realest we possibly can right now?
Sure.
Did you used to go places just to have people look at you? I'm not saying like go places just to be seen, but like, did you walk into a place going, I'm gonna pretend to do something and hopefully people look at me doing a thing?
Duh.
Okay, explain that.
Yeah, I used to do that. My generation, the early adopters of Tumblr, we put a lot of importance on what our aesthetic was. And now it's very commonplace. Now TikTok is like, you pick your aesthetic, your cottagecore or your fairycore, whatever. Mm-hmm. But that Tumblr was like the first iteration of that. So it was like, I'm going to be soft grunge. And how can I make my life soft grunge, right?
Okay.
And that's by wearing ripped tights and holding Lolita.
Who is that? Who is Lolita?
Oh my god!
Wait, what? Wait. Did you? Who is Lolita? Why don't I know who that is? Why do you? Is it something I should know?
I can't breathe. Who is that?
Oh, like a little woman?
It's a book, Joseph. It's a book.
A book after someone's name? Why would I know that?
Yeah, a book after.
You could have said like, and holding Adam. And I'd be like, why are you holding
the famous novel Adam?
I imagine like a little chihuahua. I thought you meant like a dog or something, like an accessory, like holding Lolita, like Paris Hilton. Like I'm holding Lolita. I don't know. We all had a Lolita.
Oh my god, my stomach hurts.
And holding Lolita.
It's my doll, Lolita. Say hi to Lolita.
If you want to be grunge, you hold a doll with black eyes and paint dripping from their eyes. Black.
With black and white striped tights.
No pupils.
Oh, God. Oh,
Just holding Lolita right now as we're talking. That's embarrassing. I didn't know that. I don't know that book.
Oh, my God.
Is this like this is like a huge book?
It's a huge book.
Like, we're talking like Great Gatsby level popularity, and I don't know what that is.
Yes, but it's a very, very gross subject. But it was romanticized on Tumblr.
Okay, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you bring your book. I never read any of those books.
So you didn't even know, like, never read it.
Are you kidding me? I never read books.
You held her, but you didn't read her.
I read one book.
Ever? You read books all the time.
Now, but when I was trying to be Tumblr girl, no, never read a book.
Wow.
I would hold a book. But that's the thing. I was holding the book, but I was looking.
It's like a bracelet.
I was looking into the Great White Somewhere.
Really?
Through the book.
So you would. Where are you opening it and hoping people will see you look at it?
Like Barnes and Noble.
You would just go to a place where people are normally reading books and pretend to read a book?
Oh yeah, because I wouldn't buy a book. Why would I buy it? I know I wasn't gonna read it.
Wow. Well, you buy it for the accessory. Don't you want to hold Lolita?
I didn't have money like that.
Oh, okay. Well, beats you, or what's the term?
Beats you is the term.
I don't think it's beats you. I think it's
Beats University.
It's whatever, major loser. Beats University.
Beats you.
It's the Beats pill.
I went to Beats you. The pill.
Okay, I want to talk about something wonder-rated within that conversation. Wonder appreciated, underrated, and underappreciated.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. What's wonder appreciated is we live in a time period where you can find those people digitally and change instantly if you don't want to commit to holding Lolita for, like, ever. So, like, what I'm saying...
Lolita's just a doll or a dog
It's just a doll.
Like, I can't even picture it as a book.
No, not at all. So, if you wanted to commit to being, let's say, a furry or whatever you're interested in, you could so easily just not be that anymore because you stopped posting photos and you aren't that anymore. And that's different than back then where you had to go to a third space, which is like a coffee shop or a Barnes & Noble or something like that, to be that person, and hopefully you'll find the person behind the counter who works there is like, hey, I see you're reading Lolita, like, let's talk.
If someone says that to you, run.
You think so? I see. Me having no context is so great, because I am just now piecing together what this book could possibly be about. I can't believe it's that popular. I don't know about this. Like, to the point where you're laughing out loud. Okay. But my point being, if you wanted to be something, you could easily transfer over to something else without clunky friend changing. Another point being, if you wanted to be a skater in high school, you would just hang out with the skaters. But because there's such big online presence of skaters and things, you could just be like, oh, I don't want to be a skater anymore. I can just easily go to a Discord and become this other thing.
It's less that they're actual cultures and more that they're just like aesthetics now. I feel like you don't have to necessarily live as a skater to like try on the skater vibe for a while.
The wonder appreciated part of this is the element of choice. There's so many things, because if you're just super into one specific thing, like let's say I'm extremely into anime, there is so many subdivisions of anime. There's like Studio Ghibli, and then there's like, you know, Attack on Titan people, and there's like different types of anime people that even within that you can find your subgroup by going into a Discord, or like certain Instagrams, or your feed on TikTok just looks different than other people's. That is so cool. And people don't talk about how, you know, a lot of conversation around social media is how destructive it is, which I believe that it is a net neutral on the world. I'm in the minority by saying I think there's a lot of negative, but also a lot of positive that comes from it. And I do believe that it's net neutral effect on the world, essentially. Because
net neutrality.
Wow. Remember that?
Yeah. I wonder if anything came of that. I feel like I'm so ignorant about it.
Yeah, I don't really know. I didn't know what Lolita was, so I don't think I have a choice to talk about anything else. We wanted to create this podcast because we wanted to force gratitude, or allow ourselves, I should say, gratitude throughout the week. There's a lot of stuff that I find my mom calls stinking thinking. And I'm just very much stinking thinking. And this is creating a format where we're having to look at things and ask ourselves, are they underappreciated? Are there things we're not appreciating enough that should be? Could be something as small as like finding a lucky penny, or an idea, like a way of thought a quote that you heard, something that's underappreciated during your week. It's just a way for us to not do any stinking thinking.
Anything from changing your, the way you think, to little habits that you can adopt, to subgroups that maybe not a lot of people know about, or, different types of nouns. People, places, or things.
Underappreciated, we can talk about anything like things, cookies.
Sounds,
cookies, things, pretty much anything.
I actually like that. If smells was in there, I'd be down.
Sounds, cookies, things, and smells?
Yeah.
All of that together?
Mm-hmm. The point of this podcast is for us to shine a light on things that we think are underappreciated that could bring you a little bit of joy in your day.
Not like we're gurus or anything, but we try our best, right?
It's kind of like we're on our journeys to try to eliminate our stinking thinking, and we thought it would be fun to kind of bring you guys along for the ride. So there it is.
Yeah.
Wonder can be found in unexpected places.
Like behind your ear.
Oh.
Freak. I am the mind freak. Finding wonder in earwax. Okay, I have a real thing. I have to tell you. Yeah.
Oh, whoa. What?
I have excessive belly button lint. And I mean it.
Excessive.
It's to the point where I could be wearing a silk dress and I will find a way to have belly button lint.
When's the last time you were wearing a silk dress?
Nothing. I know we're going off the rails, but let me be clear about something. What is getting stuck? Like, what is rubbing? What's
catching on the fabric?
It's indented. What am I doing where I'm getting... It's a hole. How come I'm creating...
Do you scratch your belly button a lot?
I do not. Is this a lie detector test? I feel like you looked at me like I'm lying. Like you found the answer.
The machine went crazy.
I figured it out.
Seismic activity. I feel like normally belly button lint is common in people who have very deep belly buttons.
I haven't measured comparatively how deep. How deep is your belly button? Belly button.
There's a VeggieTales song that's like, he needs to tell you something. I ain't got a belly button. And he doesn't have one because he's a vegetable.
Dun, dun. Body starts to rock.
Yeah, well, that's what they're
belly
doing.
Button pop.
They're doing like a Backstreet Boys thing,
okay.
Or NSYNC thing.
But let me tell you, I have belly button lint to the point where if I was to go digging, it would be a full, like I could make a whole shirt. Do you know in cartoons where like they'll put their coins out and they'll be like, Patrick, that's belly button lint or whatever?
Yeah.
That happened to me like a lot.
You give someone your money and it's belly button lint?
No, I just lied.
Remember, like, give me your milk money.
Milk money?
Yeah.
That sounds weird. I don't have an Audi though. It's an innie, and I have belly button lint.
You ever seen an Audi?
I have.
Hey kid, you ever seen an Audi?
You want to buy a watch? He's just showing you his Audi. Want to see an Audi?
So, this week, that's kind of felt cool to say. Like we have a weekly
this
episode.
New week.
Oh
wow.
my gosh, that's so fun.
That's fun.
The first category that we're going to dive into today
is you guys. We really appreciate you. And that's wonderful and appreciated that you're here. How about that?
I love that.
Let's start off the widest scope we can.
Let's do it.
The fact that we're even doing this is fantastic. That anyone's even allowing us to pierce their eardrums right now.
Pierce the eardrum. That's my band name.
Pierce the eardrum? That sounds like not that bad of a dubstep thing. Pierce the eardrum. Pierce the eardrum.
I actually like that.
You like
That's
it?
serious, yeah.
There you go.
Beatboxing podcast.
Welcome to another one. Appreciate it. Pierce the eardrum.
I still get the girlish excitement when I hear beatboxing that I got when I heard Blake do it on American Idol.
Who's Blake? Say his last name. I don't know who Blake is.
I don't remember his last name.
You can't just call him Blake.
He was the beatboxing Blake.
Beatboxing Blake?
Yeah, and he had the frosted tips.
Aww.
And he beatboxed. And I think he what's the moonwalk that's like in a square?
Oh, I don't know the name of it, but I know what you're talking about. Gliding, yeah, that's right.
And he would like glide on the stage and beatbox.
That's what I used to do. That's actually how I proposed to Aubrey. I went. Imagine me gliding right now. We marry me. I love so long.
I'll love you so long.
And her mouth is just open, drooling, as she's looking at me, just smiling, crying, drooling.
It's actually a hypnotism square.
Yeah.
If you glide while beatboxing at the same time, it makes everyone around you just like their mouth open and they're just drooling.
I glided into a pentagram. She's in the center. I just made a pentagram around her. You will love me. Ding ding dong.
And we've been married.
And we're married ever since.
Okay. So let's get into this. Let's do our first category of the week.
Yeah.
Little wonders. The first category of the week, which I love saying, is little wonders.
Little wonders.
Little wonders.
Go ahead, take it away.
So this is something small that we can all do that, changes your day a little bit. Maybe makes it a little bit better.
Go for it. What is it?
So what I've been doing lately is, okay, let's set the scene.
Mm-hmm.
I have become a morning person. And I was never a morning person before.
Why are you a morning person?
Because I add a score to my morning.
When do you do that?
So I have my big headphones now.
Oh, I thought you meant like a number score. Like scoring like music.
Scoring like music.
Okay.
Never numbers.
Okay.
If I say anything, actually, I'll eat these words later on if I become a numbers person in this podcast.
You're a morning person, so numbers is the next step.
Hey, you're right. But never numbers, Joe.
Okay.
No. Music.
Okay.
Feeling. Art. Never numbers.
Yeah.
So in the morning, I wake my little ass up and I play Bossa Nova. And gosh darn it, does it make me feel like I'm in a little movie. And I have just awoken and my day okay, there's something about smelling coffee in the morning, right? Obviously, perks you up.
Yeah, of course.
But there's something special about the smell of coffee and the sound of Bossa Nova.
Okay.
Playing in the background.
I love that. I do hear the Bossa Nova in the morning, so I do vibe with that.
Yeah.
And I can attest that there is something about putting music in your ear instantly. The grog of the morning, and we live in Los Angeles, so it's most likely somebody hammering into the crest of the earth, just banging metal as hard as they can, and then throwing out garbage into my window. That's like most of the noises that I hear in the morning. But if you drown it out with a little, that's my Bossa Nova, by the way.
I know that song. What is that?
You don't recognize it?
Are we talking about?
No, I'm not talking about anything. I just really wanted to hear what you came up with by saying that.
Well, it was near that.
Well, that's close. Yeah, maybe I was thinking that. No, but hearing music in the morning gets me to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm forcing myself to be this person. Because if I was being watched right now, like if you think of yourself as like in a movie, if I was being watched right now, no one's listening to Bossa Nova and just like, ugh. Like you have to be so clean. Like the cleanest people on earth listen to Bossa Nova.
That's how I feel.
They're like a human bar of soap. If you ever watch any, like, those ones that Whole Foods that you walk by and you just want to eat them, and they're just like really fancy stuff. You never buy them, but you just want to grab them and smell them just because
they're like $12 for a cut of it,
and it just like looks like a watermelon. So you pick it up and sniff it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the people who listen to Bossa Nova consistently buy those, and they're not even rich. They know that they're gonna do this for themselves, and I want to be like that kind of person.
Yes, it makes me feel cleaner, and that's so interesting that you say that because I feel that, and it might just be the picture that goes along with it. Like when you search on YouTube, Bossa Nova jazz, it's always like someone's immaculately clean dining room or something.
Yeah. Can you imagine listening to Bossa Nova and having like an empty Big Gulp on your counter? Like I can't. Like everything's romantic with it. Even if you had the empty, it's like, oh, someone must have left in a hurry. And you clean it. You're like in a little novel.
It makes you write a backstory to the mess.
It's like couldn't be me. Like this had to be somebody who was here before me. I'm gonna clean this up while listening to Bossa Nova.
Oh, someone must have left in a hurry.
Don't worry, I'll clean it up.
He left his Big Gulp.
Can you imagine drinking a Big Gulp and then being in the position you're in to where you're enjoying a Big Gulp, meaning like you have no worries in the world at that present moment, and then being so like flustered that you have to drop your Big Gulp?
That's the worst.
That's like a Breaking Bad episode.
I know, that's why it's always
like a visual of like a slow-mo Big Gulp splashing against the ground is like, oh, what happened to Saul?
Yeah. Every time it happens, it is always someone in like a comfortable position being uprooted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because no one's ever enjoying a Big Gulp and like in a high-stakes situation, I feel.
Well, it's way too big to bring anywhere. You need to be stealthy.
Exactly. And the fact that you're committing to that much soda means that you
have some off time.
That means you're committing to hours of drinking soda. So someone must have left. This is a very interesting person that we're trying to figure out who that is.
You left your Big Gulp.
Never mind.
Never mind. That's me reading Lolita. That's something I would have said.
You dropped you would have said that?
You left your... No. I wouldn't have talked to anybody. Well, because I wanted them to make assumptions about me.
Oh.
I wanted them to
You know what
be
you
mysterious.
do when people have assumptions? They make an ass sandwich. Yeah, everyone has one.
What? You know what they say about assumptions? Everybody has one.
Everyone has one.
Some of us even have two.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, that's my little wonder. And I know it sounds crazy. Let me do that again. I know.
Let me do that again.
Let me do that again. I know it sounds the opposite of crazy, which is extremely normal and mundane. But that's the thing about this podcast. Nothing's mundane anymore, baby.
Because we're saying it loudly.
Because we're saying it into a podcast mic, and that means that it's important.
I would say to couple that with the music and the smell of the coffee. Mm-hmm. This is my other thing. Can we move on to the next category?
Of course. That's it for Little Wonders, folks. Little Bossa Nova in the morning. Romanticize your life a little bit.
What?
Just checking on the battery.
Okay. Can you count me in?
Will you count me in? Been away for a while now.
I wish we can segue into that. How do we
talk about bubbly toes. What's up with that?
Seinfeld. What's up with that? Oh my god.
There's multiple songs in the early 2000s that talked about someone's bubbly toes, and I'm really uncomfortable with that whole
I don't even know what that means. I'm getting red just thinking about it. I'm like embarrassed about it. I'm like, ew.
Like, she's like, starts at my toes and it crinkles my... Oh, maybe she doesn't say bubbly toes. Who says bubbly toes?
That is the song.
It's called Bubbly. And then she talks about her toes. But there's also a Jack Johnson song where he goes, it's as simple as something that nobody knows that her eyes are as big as her bubbly toes.
Dude, I don't even know. Her eyes are as big as her toes? What a weird, description. But what? They're all different sizes. Which one?
Which toe?
The smallest one. She has tiny, tiny eyes. He's just roasting her.
Nobody knows that her eyes are as big as her tiniest toe.
They're so small. Her whole eyeball is that small. They're like Chihuahua eyes.
Chihuahuas have big eyes.
Compared to their face, but you put a Chihuahua eye on my face, it's gonna look small. Yeah, they have big eyes compared to their head.
I really want to edit that. Your face with chihuahua eyes.
You want to put chihuahua eyes on my face?
Yes.
I'll look into the camera. Do it. Okay, so segue into...
You didn't like my bubbly toes segment?
No, I'm saying segue into the... I liked it. It was great.
Okay, Joe's coming at us this week with Worth the Hype.
This actually falls perfectly into your morning routine with your Bossa Nova thing.
Okay.
The smelling the coffee, you're like, the smell of it?
Yes.
Okay, it doesn't... First of all, I'm not advocating... I will never advocate that you spend more money to have a better time ever on the show. That's not... There's always a way to do it cheaper. I believe in that. I've been a rich man, and I've been a poor man, and I choose rich every freaking time.
Who said that?
That's Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh.
Which is a perfect demographic fit for us. Having your morning drink, whatever it is, it could be water, it could be coffee, whatever it is, just do that right. Every single person I know that's like, in the morning, I grind and I look at this cup. You see this? Now the foam's bad and they throw the whole cup. They're all pissed about it. Like, whoever has their stuff together. Specifically, I have a family member of mine who showed me his whole routine. He like put the beans, like, these beans suck. And you gotta buy these ones. And he did a whole thing. He pounded it and showed me how you pack it, and he bzzz with the noise. He's like, hear it? That's actually because there's too much water in it. And I gotta filter it out. He did the whole thing.
Yeah.
This dude has his life together to a T. And I think it's because he starts it off with the biggest W you could possibly have, which is like, I synthesized some chemistry that is going to make my day better. And even just the thought of doing that in the morning, I think propels you to do better in the day.
I think it's also just focusing on a task very strongly so that all this other gobbledygook that like creeps into your brain when you wake up in the morning, at least for me, I'm like, I kind of wake up anxious. That's why I like to make my morning routine very special, because I need to kind of like, try to calm myself. And I think that focusing in on a task that has a lot of steps and getting that perfect is like a way to laser in.
I can tell you right now, and I'm no hate to anybody that does this, but like Keurig, I'm not saying you're a bad person at all.
You're still in the lie detector test.
I'm still in the lie detector. He's lying. You're a bad person. I'm saying maybe it works for you. Maybe you found one Keurig K-Cup that's just like, this is slammy, smacking, and I'm on top when I get the French vanilla Starbucks K-Cup.
The donut.
The donut one. But I will tell you honestly, I've never met someone who's like, ugh, I'm out of my favorite. I'm just going to put this donut K-Cup in. And their day is great. If that's ever happened to you, like, power to you. But the people that have their stuff down, for me, for instance, I have these, like, I have all different kinds of caffeines. And I like to mix it up for myself. I like to switch it up. Like, sometimes I'll do tea in the morning. Sometimes I'll do this. But I'll plan it out where I'm like, it's going to be a big day tomorrow. I got to get my hardcore 300 milligram slammer. Like, I gotta go, and I get excited in the morning because I'm like, ooh, I'm going for the slammer today. Or, hey, I'm gonna take it easy. I'm not gonna have the slammer until later in the day, but I will start off with a little tinkle, little ting tang, little bing bang.
I'm gonna start with the 50 mil.
I'm gonna start with the 50 mil, and then I'm gonna end up with the 250 and go crazy with it. Like, I plan my caffeine intake out. I choose it like it's my sword of the day. Yeah,
wow.
Like, it's as epic as that. It's that important to me, to where I
love that analogy.
What's your weapon today? Like, I know, like, what kind of combat am I getting into? And if I need the samurai sword because we're gonna get down and dirty today, I pick like an energy drink. Which, I don't advocate for those, but sometimes you need to get going. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need to get going. You know what I'm saying? So I try to pick the best of the evils, which is, there's not many, but I try to pick the best of the evils. But sometimes I'm like, crushed it last night, got a good night's sleep. I think I'm just going to down some water and like kick with maybe some tea.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
See.
But then I'm jet propelled and I'm like, ooh, I wear khakis. If I just have the tea in the morning, I wear khakis. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, so the tea dictates what you wear.
Absolutely. Brown shoes, khakis. and they're pleated. Absolutely.
Okay.
That's when I'm drinking tea. But if I'm going energy drink, not kidding you, it's
You're
because
butt
I'm not,
naked.
well, actually not far. I'm not on camera for whatever meetings I have. I need to turn off the camera. Full hoodie, full sweats, and all energy. I'm going full on, and we're talking like playing a Spotify playlist that's like, everybody in the house go boom, stop. Like I go insane with it. So if that's the case, it's a different vibe. What weapon are you choosing for the day? Sometimes it's nunchucks. Sometimes it's throwing stars. Sometimes it's a samurai sword. Sometimes it's a bazooka. You know what I'm saying?
Are you saying that if you have a ton of caffeine, you dress comfortably because the energy takes precedent?
Takes precedent, absolutely. If I know what caffeine I'm getting into, it's so weird. Now I'm saying this out loud. I just realized this, but it totally dictates my outfit 100% of the time. I'm in workout clothes if I'm getting into something nasty. Like if I'm going full on caffeine, 500 milligrams of something, then if I'm getting nasty, I'm wearing workout clothes.
500
That's
milligrams?
one Starbucks. That's one normal Pike's Place.
No.
Yes, it is. I promise
500.
you. We'll fact check it. Hey Siri, how much caffeine is in a Pike's Place roast? Like 4 milligrams.
310 in a grande, I think it said.
In a grande, so who gets a grande? Well, this is the K cup. Whatever. But yeah, but choosing it, it's underrated. You're overthinking it. If you're waking up in the morning right now and just going, I'm gonna just do the donut K cup. I don't know. I have things to do. I don't have to worry about this. You're starting off tripping on your own foot, face planning.
I like how the donut K-cup has become the antithesis of having a good day.
You know what? It shouldn't be, because there is some people that are like, ooh, I love the donut K-cup. I'm doing it. I know those people exist and they're listening right now. But if you're thinking about, like, not thinking about it is what I'm saying. If you're not putting intention into it and just going, I'm going for the donut K-cup because that's the last one left. Like the salted caramel one. I feel like no one really likes salted caramel K-cups. I feel like those are always left.
And it's a delight when you find that as the last one left.
Okay, well then you love that. It's underappreciated planning out your caffeine intake or just drink of choice for the morning. I feel like that's extremely important. Even if it's just orange juice. Like I know people that can just kick it off orange juice and go absolutely buck wild. They're like, oh, today I had a good big glass of orange juice, and they'll do 360s.
I think orange juice is underappreciated.
Okay, well there you go.
I think orange juice is the nectar of the gods.
That is an absurd thought.
Is it?
Yeah, okay. If I was to describe anything as the nectar of the gods,
Orange
it wouldn't
juice.
Be Tang. Like, what do we?
I'm not talking about Tang.
I'm not. High C is not on my list of nectar of the gods.
I'm not talking about high C.
Talking fresh squeeze.
Freshly squeezed orange juice. I like the pulpy kind, but I'll take a non-pulp. It's sweet. It's tangy. It's tart. It makes your mouth water on both sides. Those little tingly things that are on the side of your cheeks. On your jaw.
Like, what about like water? That's the nectar of the gods. Is it not?
I'm not even gonna respond to that.
Like
That's
the nectar of the gods. Like
water,
what gives us life?
Water. Are you joking?
The nectar.
The most boring drink.
Okay, let me bring her home. Get your arsenal ready. Get your arsenal right. Line up your weapons for them. You're going to war, and we need to line it up. We need to figure it out, okay?
What is the weapon that matches me starting the morning with goat milk?
That's like a squirt gun. I'm sorry. Maybe if anyone loves goat milk, that's fine. But for me, you're really putting your thumb in a pie when you do that. Aubrey loves the thumb in a pie bit. Okay, a little insight. Every time I say thumb in a pie, pull out a plum or whatever, she thinks that's the funniest thing in the world. What is that?
Putting your thumb in a pie and just pulling out a plum.
What? Why is it so funny to you? Can you explain? Is it the visual? Like, I just need to say, put my thumb in a pie, and she just crinkles her nose, and she just goes buck wild. What is that?
Okay, so it comes from Little Jack Horner. Little Jack Horner sat in a corner eating a pie. I don't know. It's it goes with the rhythm.
Is this supposed to convince me that
he stuck in his thumb and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I?"
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like, "Look what I can do." And it's like, "I'm such a good person." And it's like, that didn't mean anything.
Okay, so why is it funny?
Because putting your thumb in a pie is funny.
If I had a pie right now and I put my thumb in it, you'd laugh.
Oh my god, are you kidding?
Even if I told you I was going to do it, like, I'm going to put my thumb in this pie and then do it, you would just crack up?
Yeah.
What if I didn't pull out a plum? Would you be upset?
You couldn't pull out a plum. A full plum can't be in a pie.
So is it the absurdity that you can pull out a plum? Or is just a finger in a pie? What about my index finger? Put that in a plum.
That's creepy. Don't do that.
Okay, there's a big difference between your thumb and your index finger in a pie.
That's creepy.
One's funny, one's disturbing.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I saw someone putting their index finger in a pie, it's either a 3-year-old or a fucking creep.
Okay, you got me there. I agree. I somehow agree with that.
Yes. A thumb is like, that guy's funny.
Why?
Because it's like, it looks stupid.
Okay. That's underappreciated. Your love for the thumb in the pie bit is so underappreciated. All right, people. Thank you so much for joining us. That was our first episode. Wow.
Oh
that
my
was fun.
gosh.
Yeah.
Our first episode. Thank you guys for being here.
Make sure to support on the Patreon. We have extra content. We have vlogs. We have all kinds of stuff on there.
Bonus videos.
All kinds of stuff. So
live streams.
Yeah, go ahead and join us on the Patreon if you haven't already. Also, we have a Discord I am not just saying this because I'm biased, but if you're looking for, I guess, like a meme dealer, like people are meme dealers. Like, hey kid, want to see an Audi?
Hey kid, want to see a meme?
It's Regal Show Discord. Also, the Patreon is Regal Show. Could change in the future. If you're listening in the future, I have no idea what it's going to be called in the future, but that's what it is at this current moment.
Yes.
Please go ahead and look in the description of the YouTube video to see what's the accurate one.
Yes. Each week, the segments will change. So we're going to be rotating through different types of things that are wonder appreciated. So stay tuned for some
good old fun.
Some good old fashioned changes. Changes.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
Gosh.
And goodbye until next week. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Super special thank you to our top tier patrons, Benjamin Samuels,
Devin Holloman,
Emily Norman,
MP Chief Cheevers,
Guillermo,
Dylan Mislicki,
Fishin' with Paw,
Lindsay,
Delia Joe,
Very Tired Egg,
May,
Michael Williams,
Nick Sanya,
Lee Mayhew,
Noel Niemeyer,
and Explorer Nora. Thank you all very much.